Hi, I'm Steve, the introverted traveler. I've made it my mission in life to explore the beaches, deserts, mountains, and even cityscapes around us, and to do so while avoiding contact with as many people as possible. And although I will never hang out with you for any reason, I do invite you to join me on my journey. Come and see the world through the eyes of an extreme introvert. On this adventure, we are hiking to Ape Canyon in the Mount Saint Helens National Volcanic Monument near Cougar, Washington. Along the way, we will stomp through dense forests, encounter steep canyons, walk amongst the wildflowers, and take in beautiful volcanic views. All this and much more on this Introverted Travels. Greetings, and I'm back yet again on yet another adventure. And today I'm already shot out of a canyon. I'm on high introvert red alert. Why, you may ask? Because when I got to the trailhead, there were at least 20 cars. And if you do the introverted math on that, 4 people minimum per car times 20 cars equals infinity plus 1 people. But not only that, when I stepped foot onto the trail, about 3 or 4 steps in, I saw mountain bikers. So not only do I have to put up with the normal niceties that hikers try to foist upon me every single Sunday, but I also have to dodge out of the way and run for my life as a bunch of over-adrenaline maniacs buzz down this incredibly narrow and scary trail in the middle of the woods at Mach 5. I mean, I literally think bikes now are designed to break the sound barrier and then break it again and then, of course, head towards light speed, because that's what these idiots do every single time. So, in other words, I'm in a fight for survival and my sanity, which I think I'm losing the latter, but that's every week. And I'm out here trying to avoid death and people. But to specifically tell you where I am, today I am once again back in Mount Saint Helens National Volcanic Monument, and I'm on my way up the Ape Canyon Trail. Now, because I'm an introvert red alert, I'm going to try to get this introduction section done as quickly as possible so I can run up the trail screaming, throwing my arms up in the air, and generally looking like Kermit the Frog on acid. And speaking of things that you would only do on acid, All Trails says that this hike is about 10.2, 10.5, somewhere around that. I can't remember. And statistically speaking, it could be less. But realistically, we know it's a lot more. I talked about infinity plus 1 people. Well, this hike is probably infinity plus 1 miles. Why is All Trails off every single week? Why is All Trails so terrible at predicting anything? Well, we all know that All Trails is indeed coated by hedgehogs that are high off LSD. And that means that the final product, the All Trails itself, say it with me, take your shot, bang your head against a rock, because you've heard me say this a billion times. All Trails sucks. There you have it. I think I've said everything. You know where I am. You know what I'm doing. You know that there's a billion people out here. You know that they're shuffling down the trail like a herd of zombies, ready not to devour brains, but to come up to you and go, "Good morning. Hello. Let's talk about my life in detail." Oh. And in addition, you know there's a bunch of mountain biking vampires out here hunting for hikers and devouring human flesh. Okay, that's a ridiculous over-exaggeration, but they are going Mach 5 and they are coming around blind corners and they do aim their bikes towards my head. So that happens, but you also know that I am, of course, an experienced, brave superhero and might be able to handle it, but I can guarantee you it's going to result in more bitching, moaning, and complaining than usual. So my misery index is rising, my sanity is lessening, and I'm on my way up Ape Canyon, and I think we're going to look at a volcano we've seen 100 billion times. So there's your introduction section. That's all you need to know. And I know there's people in the woods, and that's terrible. You know, for a hike called Ape Canyon, there has been a surprising lack of both canyons and apes. Yes, I mean, there has been some scary encounters with primates because I did see some other hikers and the mountain bikers. But yeah, so far, this is just yet another walk to the forest. Now, what I will tell you is, it's Mount Saint Helens. It's right over there. I can see it through the trees, but you probably can't because you're on a GoPro. So basically, all you're getting, green things, bark, leaves, tree stumps. Oh, there's a tree stump right there. Not only is there a tree stump right there, there's a tree stump right there with bark and green things and leaves. It's the most stereotypical thing I could show you in the forest. I mean, I literally just hit every forest stereotype just with one stump. So far, not the most exciting thing. Now, since I made the introduction section, I actually haven't encountered anybody else so far. I haven't even encountered another crazy vampiric mountain biker. And I'm surprised because, as we all know, in the hierarchy of cardio sports, mountain biking is probably one of the easiest things that you could possibly do. And that's why it's so attractive to so many people, because although I'm not exercise shaming, because it's still, you know, you have to be in shape to do it. But you can compare to things like hiking and running, and this is the only time, trail runners, that I will ever say anything positive about you. So don't get used to it. But compared to things like hiking and trail running, mountain biking is a piece of cake. I mean, you got a little machine, you got 2 tires. Yes, you have to strain to go up a mountain, but it's a lot easier than crawling on your hands and knees and dodging mountain bikers. So I'm surprised there's not more of them out here, because I mean, it's a warm, sunny day. There's a hiker on the trail, so there's fresh blood, and they've got their little bikes, and they don't want to put in too much effort and too much energy, so of course they're going to go mountain biking, because, you know, it's just what you do when you don't want to work really, really hard. Yes, it's hard work, but it's not hiking level hard work. And this is prime territory. I mean, I'm in the bushes. There are blind curves. There are blind pieces of me could be all over the trail right now. There could be a mountain bike on one hip, a mountain bike on a severed leg, a mountain bike on my throat. I mean, there could be tire marks all over me. But apparently not. I mean, it's the easiest of all outdoor mountain activities. And apparently this is a trail in which they allow those sorts of antisocial, awful activities to occur. But apparently not. Apparently there's a few out here. I mean, this is a long drive, so maybe they didn't want to drive the hour and a half from Portland. Maybe there were victims that they could find closer. I have no idea. I don't understand the mind of a mountain biker. And if my comment section, my mountain bike videos are anything to go by, there's really not much to understand. Well, here's an update. The silence and solitude that I was experiencing earlier has been broken because there were people. So far, I've seen some college-aged hikers, which of course is the worst age group for hikers outside of like little elementary school hikers, because they're almost as annoying as children, because college people in general are happy. They're looking to the future. They think they have their life ahead of them, and the universe has not yet beaten them into a bloody pulp. Me, on the other hand, I've been pulped a few times. So when I see the college age people, I'm like, oh, really? I have to walk through your cloud of ridiculous, unrealistic optimism just to get where I'm going? But then I saw a couple with one dog. So out of all of this complaining that I'm doing, the one silver lining is that there was one dog. However, there's only one dog. And as we know, it takes 2 dogs using introverted dog calculus to cancel out the burdensome, awful presence of one human. So unfortunately, I saw one dog and too many damn humans. But at least it's giving me something to bitch and moan about. I mean, I could be going on and on and on about the bark and the leaves and the trees and the weird bugs that won't leave me alone. But no, instead I'm going on and on and on about how college people are too optimistic and life is going to rip their souls from them and stomp it into the ground. And I could go on and on about how I love dogs and how the presence of dogs is enlightening and wonderful. And why does it have to get ruined by the presence of awful, soul-sucking human beings? You've heard all this before, and I'm in the middle of the woods, so I got nothing else. I'm just rehashing my greatest hits because trees and leaves and bark. It apparently is not enough that I have to contend with dangerous, adrenaline-filled mountain bikers booming down this very narrow hiking trail. But do I also have to smell you when you pass me? I mean, seriously, one of the mountain biker demons just passed me. This person was a little bit more controlled, so they were only going, I don't know, Mach 1 instead of Mach 3. But when that person passed me, I got hit in the face with a cloud of, oh. I mean, yes, I know, mountain biking, although it is the easiest of all the cardio, it's nothing in comparison to hiking or even trail running in vigorousness and exercise. But cardio is cardio, and we do not cardio shame here on this channel. However, we do stink shame because it smelled like 1,000 corpses dying. I mean, seriously, I know you're sweating and stuff, but the deodorant is there for a reason. You mountain bikers are miserable to be around to begin with. Half of you can't even count to 3. Most of you hate all women. A lot of you, the only thing in your vocabulary is the word bro. And now apparently you can't work a deodorant stick. I'm still in the damn woods, but now the woods smell bad. I'm sure there's better shots of this down the trail, but right now I'm just playing a can I find a space between the trees to shoot these volcanoes game, with the GoPro. And guess what? Now, you probably don't see this one that often on my videos because most of the time I'm way, way far away from it. But right there, that's Mount Rainier. That big scary one that if it blows up, all of Seattle is going to die. You can discuss whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, but yeah, that's the giant behemoth right there. Of course, it's still pretty far away, so it doesn't look like a lot. And over there, through the green and the twigs, is Mount Adams, and it actually looks really cool because we're a lot closer than we are in most of my videos. Most of my videos I'm out in the Columbia River Gorge and I'm shooting these things, but today, nope, I am actually in southern Washington, and that is actually beautiful Mount Rainier. Now, it looks totally spectacular from my viewpoint, even though I'm staring at it through a bunch of pine trees, but you've got a GoPro view of it, so you're probably just seeing this tiny little thing with a little bit of snow on it and going, oh, what's the big deal? That thing could kill you 1,000 times over. Of course, if you view it through a GoPro, it won't kill you at all because, you can't see anything. Well, I just got passed by 2 mountain bikers. But at least one of the mountain bikers finally did what all mountain bikers should do and apologized, basically being on the same trail I am. I mean, seriously, this is a narrow, dangerous trail filled with hikers. I'm not the only one. I've seen a bunch of hikers out here. This is in an area where there's hiking trails for hikers. And yet, these pedaling maniacs are out here going down these trails like they own it. Mind you, most of them are at least smart enough to figure out how to use the handbrake, so I haven't seen anything that's going to take off my head yet. But yeah, they apologized. And mountain bikers should apologize for all sorts of things. The fact that they're hogging multi-use trails and endangering everyone with their bad choice of hobbies. The fact that they chose a hobby that's just, annoying as hell, loud and obnoxious, and they have to wear dorky helmets. They should apologize for the dorky helmets. They should apologize for the spandex or the lycra or whatever the hell they wear. And in general, they should just apologize for, well, for existing, but all humans should apologize to me for that. It's just the right thing to do. But yeah, the more I hike this trail, the more I'm wondering why the hell mountain bikers are actually allowed on it. I mean, let's face it, for trails like this, it should be either mountain bikers. I'm perfectly fine with mountain bikers having their own trails, and I'm perfectly fine with hikers having their own trails. And before I get the, well, hikers come on our mountain bike trail, that's wrong. No, if any damn hiker is on your trail, you can eat them. That's okay. If they're on a mountain bike only trail, they're going out into your territory and they're allowing themselves to be eaten. Fine. You won't hear a single rant from me. But when you're out on multi-use trails trying to gun for my head with your stupid little tire, that's when we have a problem. They shouldn't allow multi-use trails in this situation. Well, this literally should be just a hiking trail. This should not be for you and your little spandex bros to come out and talk about how much you hate women. This is not the place for it. But alas, there's no signs at the trailhead saying hikers only. There's no prohibition of bikes. And so we get maniacs coming through here going, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you when I ran over your head. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you when I ate your arm." But at least I'm getting apologies. I mean, it's about time mountain bikers started apologizing for everything. Deadly volcano that's going to kill us all, including mountain bikers and hikers, right in front of me. This is a much different angle than we're used to. Usually I'm either coming from that side in that direction, or from the other side, which is the north side. That's the side with the big hole in it. Yeah, you know, the north side. But we kind of have a side profile. Kind of have a mugshot today, and it's beautiful. Down there you can see what appears to be trenches. Those are lahars. A lahar, if you don't know, is when either the volcano heats up enough of the ice and snow that's on it just through normal volcanic heating, or it erupts and melts everything, and all that stuff sloughs off, it melts, and it causes these huge floods that follow all these tributaries here. And you can see, you know, it was more than likely the 1980 eruption. So you can see the lahar activity. You can see that there's been large movements of water. You can see well, you can see either a cloud or smoke coming out of the top. Now, as I said, at the very, very top, it does steam. So it could very well be the volcano either saying hello or the clouds coming out to play. Either one is possible out here. But yeah, this is what I have today. In the distance, you can see dust being blown by the wind. There's a lot of geology happening, like right here. On this trail that I'm on, there's mountain bikers trying to kill me. Over there, nature is trying to kill me. Which, really, that latter one, that's the way it should be. Okay, so this is pretty cool. We got Mount Rainier over there in the distance. We've seen that like 5 times. We got Mount Adams over there. I already had a rant about that. I believe that canyon down there, I think that's Ape Canyon. That's where they keep the apes. And yeah, check this out. Somewhere around here is Lew Witt Falls. I don't know if it's on this trail or if it's near this trail. I'm not sure, but I know it's out here somewhere. Of course, this is a pretty large area, so I'm being very descriptive when I tell you It's out here somewhere. I don't know. Go find it. It's somewhere. I'm gonna back off because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get launched into the air from the wind. But yeah, check out this view. I mean, it's no wonder the mountain bikers are trying to steal this trail from the hikers, because I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. But we still have some trail ahead of us. Trail keeps going that way. Of course, there's the other volcano right in front of us. This is literally, I mean, you turn your head, you get smacked in the face of the volcano around here. I mean, that's just how the Pacific Northwest rolls. And today I get smacked in the face by a pair of handlebars and a front tire and the volcanoes. So there you go. But yeah, I know there's waterfalls around here somewhere. The river is rushing down there. You've got the beautiful views in this direction. You've got the wind whipping and threatening to toss innocent, bald, very handsome introverts into the canyon below. It's Wild Kingdom out here today. Oh yeah, and I'm also finally out of the forest. And because it's so windy, I'm not getting eaten by, you know, carnivorous bugs. So I all of a sudden like this hike. I mean, look at that. Look how beautiful Mount Adams looks from afar when you're not getting eaten by flies and run over by mountain bikers. I mean, isn't that gorgeous? But unfortunately, it is very windy out here. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go to wherever the hell All Trails is taking me. I don't know, somewhere in that direction. And I'll keep you posted. But volcano, scary looking canyon, giant other volcano, sexiness personified. Oh yeah. Okay, now we're talking. I've had forest for like the past 4 hours. I've had trees, I've had green things, you know, that whole spiel. Now we have wonderful, beautiful, volcanic hellscape. Big volcano that direction. Bigger volcano right there. Actually, technically not a bigger volcano, but I'm closer to it, so it's bigger to me. But yeah, look at this. I mean, this looks like something that would be in a Mad Max movie. This looks apocalyptic. This looks like something that's going to happen after the Trump administration, but it's not going to be just the volcano. It's going to be like the entire nation is going to look like this, because you just heard me say it, Trump administration. But this is not a Trump created hellscape. This is a volcanic hellscape, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's a creek, river, I don't know, it's not that, let's just call it a river and we'll just go from there. But there's a river flowing down there and goes over to Ape Canyon in that direction. And this is absolutely beautiful. I mean, if you're into the book of Revelations and all that stuff, this is what happens when there is no humanity. You get wonderful, beautiful hellscapes just like this. But unfortunately, there is humanity. And so I get the hellscape with the bicycling demons on the hellscape. Okay, so I think All Trails is going to drop me off at a scenic point to overlook beautiful Mount Adams right there. But unfortunately, there's people. And there's a tent over there, so there's there's people in a tent. There's people everywhere out here. Not only have I been moaning and bitching and whining about mountain bikers all day, but I was coming up here and I was going up, you know, those steep paths and over the hellscape, and out came the trail runners. I swear this hike is literally throwing everything that irritates the hell out of me at me today. But yeah, I think those people over there are, there's some people right there. I think they're doing that thing where they eat sandwiches and look at stuff. I don't understand it, but whatever. I'm almost done. That's going to be my turnaround point. So you won't get any narration from me because heaven forbid I disturb the natural wonder that is sandwich eating. But yeah, you will know that's going to be, well, I mean, Mount Adams looks beautiful from here. Back there were purple flowers everywhere. Mount Adams looks beautiful from there. But I'm going to go where everyone's eating the sandwiches because apparently that's where Mount Adams looks the most beautiful. But yeah, Mount Adams. Helens is behind me, but we've seen that damn thing. It's smoking and it stinks and it's kind of dirty. But Mount Adams is beautiful. It's not smoking. It's not really that active. I mean, technically it is, but it's not that active, and it's gorgeous. I'm gonna go figure out what type of sandwiches these people are eating, and I'll keep you updated. All right, so I am officially at the end of the All Trails map. Well, the end of the All Trails map was over there, but over there, as I said, were two people sitting, and apparently they brought furniture with them because they had camping chairs out, and they were sitting there gawking at the mountain going, ooh, pretty. Now, what I couldn't see until I got right over there were two other people, and you know that joke I always make about eating sandwiches at a peak? They were eating sandwiches. I have no idea what sandwiches they were. I didn't get that close to them because, ew, people. But yeah, they were over there eating sandwiches. The other couple was like redecorating the landscape with their furniture. And they were, of course, talk. So I just aimed my camera. I took some shots. I took some photographs. And then I got the hell out of there because, ew, people. Ah. But we're headed back now. So we're not that far from the end. I just walked up a little bit so I could ranch into a GoPro. But yeah, Mount Saint Helens is either cloudy or smoky. I don't know anymore. It's a volcano. It does all sorts of weird shit. But the other volcano is absolutely beautiful. Mount Rainier's back behind those mountains over there, so you can't see it anymore. But there's wildflowers everywhere. There's rocks everywhere. And there was the dirtiest little river. Like, it was filthy. It was absolutely disgusting looking. And of course I took video of it because I wanted to share the disgusting with all of you. But what was really cool was you could actually see geology in motion because there were these large rocks that were just churning in the water. They were being pushed down. I don't know if I got any shots of that or not. But yeah, they were just being eroded away and pushed down the mountain. And I was like, geology. So we've already had our geology lesson for today. We've had our botany lesson for today because look at all these damn flowers everywhere. And we've had a lesson that people are ew, people bleh. Well, we have more instances of geology because right there, right in that trench right there, dust particles flying everywhere. Every time I come out here, it's like a freaking science lesson. I mean, the volcano itself is a science lesson, but there's dust flying through the air. There's rocks rolling in the river. There's all sorts of things that show you what an active and evolving planet we live on. But unfortunately, that planet's infested with humans. So I'm going to stick with the geology lessons, and I'm going to try to avoid the whole, socializing thing, because all right. So, according to the volcanic explosion of stupidity, that is all trails, I have about a mile and, well, 1.99, so just about 2 miles left on this hike. And that means just about 2 miles back to the trailhead, just about 2 miles back to my car, and of course to my ability to get into my car and to slam the door, to turn it on, to press the brake and to flip off nature and go, I'll see you next Sunday, suckers. So I think now would probably be a good time for us to do our trail rating. For those of you who do not know, and given the number of views I get on my videos, that's a lot of you. We use an introversion scale, and it's rated on a 1 to 10 basis, with 1 being the worst possible scenario for an introvert. I'm desperately trying to get you out of the sun, but I'm about to turn, so I think you can deal. So 1 being the worst possible scenario for an introvert, and that of course is Disneyland on the 4th of July. And that is a day in which members of the Trump administration might just show up to take their family to Disneyland. Just a programming note, I'm making this particular video the same weekend that JD Vance went to Disneyland. So it's gonna get stupid. Much like the idea of JD Vance going to Disneyland and actually being allowed to go to Disneyland. But yes, imagine his goose-stepping minions showing up at the park at the busiest day of the year. There's security everywhere. ICE has shown up to arrest all the undocumented mascots. Minnie and Mickey have been deported back to Toontown. There's people running and screaming because who the hell wants to be around the Nazis in the Trump administration? I mean, the Nazis are the bad guys in the Indiana Jones movies. Why all of a sudden did we let them have power? But there's also explosions in the sky. The Matterhorn is on fire because basically the Matterhorn's always on fire. I mean, I hear it's under like refurbishment every 2 or 3 days anyway, so that thing's gonna collapse eventually. Parents are screaming. Children are screaming and begging their parents to give them the $50,000 that it costs to get 1 single churro. Disney's actually starting to discount their churros. I mean, that's down from what it was. Inflation doesn't always happen everywhere, but there's Secret Service agents flying around. There's news people flying around. Everyone's going, Nazis are all running in the other direction. And it's just general chaos and destruction and awfulness. And that is what I would call introvert hell. That versus a 10. Introvert nirvana, which is just you at a research station all alone in the middle of Antarctica. Your only companions are your genetically modified and government trained army of sentient human-eating penguins. And they're leftists. They've read a lot of Marx and Engels, and they would never endorse any Nazis to have political power. No, not these penguins. These penguins are progressive, but they're also hungry. And it's just you and these human-eating penguins. They'll never eat you because they see you as King Penguin, but they'll protect you from anybody else that may come within 100 or 200 miles of your research station. They will line up one by one in single file rows, and they will march forward to do the duty that is munch, 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 quack, quack, quack. So, on that ridiculous scale, I am going to put this hike at about, well, I'm going to give it a 2. The reason I'm going to give it a 2 is because, unfortunately, the Forest Service is not properly regulating this trail, and they're letting those mountain bike maniacs run rampant all over the place. This is not a mountain bike trail. This is a hiking trail. It is incredibly narrow. It is incredibly dangerous. And of course, the mountain bikers don't care. They're like, ooh, narrow, danger, and possibility of hitting a hiker. Let's go. And so you have herds, literal herds, or maybe even hordes. You just have gaggles of mountain bikers out here going Mach 9, disregarding safety because they don't even know how to spell safety, because mountain bikers don't know how to spell. And it's loud, and it's obnoxious, and you see their little bikies coming in. Oh. So, unfortunately, that is going to bring this trail down a lot. I mean, it's not as bad as J.D. Vance at Disneyland, but it's close. So unfortunately, although this trail, well, it's beautiful. It's very green, it's very lush, it's very peaceful, and there's great views of the volcanoes, etc., etc. But unfortunately, there's also people. And anytime there's people, the rating is going to drop like a stone. Of course, that leads us to the misery index. Scale of 1 to 5. 1, complete fiction, because look at me. I am misery personified, and I'm always miserable to one degree or another. And of course, a 5 is the worst misery any human being could ever experience, ever. But I bust that scale all the time. And when I was near the sandwich eating at the end of the trail, and when I was near those mountain bikers who wanted to kill me and eat me, I was a 5 Brazilian gazillion trillion. I'm just literally making up baby talk to describe really large numbers, but basically I was at infinity. It was that bad. Now, luckily I'm here late in the afternoon because, as we've already covered, I'm slow as hell. And fortunately, the amount of people has gone down, and I haven't seen a mountain biker in a while. They tend to go home and hang upside down at night to replenish themselves for the hunt in the morning. So I haven't seen a mountain biker in a while, and I have peace and I have solitude. And right now I'm probably about a 2.5, but yeah, this was a scale buster. So unfortunately, that's where we are on the trail ratings today. We're at a 2, and that's where we are in the misery index. We're at infinity plus 1. But I'm almost back to my car, so I'm going to infinity plus 1 in this direction, and I'll see you soon. All right, so according to that weird smell that you just can't place, all trails, I have about a mile left on this hike, and that of course means a mile left until the trailhead and a mile left until sweet, sweet freedom. So I think it is time for us to bid our farewells. But of course, before we do that, let's do a quick recap. Today we were out in Mount Saint Helens National Volcanic Monument, hiking to Ape Canyon on the Ape Canyon Trail. And unfortunately, every mountain biker in southern Washington was also out on the Ape Canyon Trail. And they were looking for victims. So, unfortunately, we had to encounter those knuckleheads. But along the way, we also saw some beautiful views. We saw my favoritist, yes, that's right, my favoritist volcano in the entire world, Mount Adams, in full, in glory. Well, from about probably 40 miles away, but still, it was glorious. And we actually saw Mount Rainier in the background. Fortunately, we saw Mount Hood, because that thing's always lingering around. It's such a poser. It just wants to be loved, but it's not lovable. And of course, we saw Mount Saint Helens because it was like right there. But unfortunately, it is time for us to say our goodbyes. And it is definitely time for me to say, stay introverted, everyone. Of course, I'll see you in the next adventure.